Why Leverkusen winning the league is bigger than Leicester's win. Fresh off the back of a dominant 3-0 win against holders Bayern Munich, Leverkusen are riding high with a 5-point lead at the top of the Bundesliga. They're still the only unbeaten team in Europe and look to be marching towards the title. No one could have seen this coming, as with only a little over a year in the job, Xabi Alonso has been able to completely transform his team into one of the best in Europe. With only 13 games left, Leverkusen could win their first league title ever, a feat on par with Leicester's historic win a few years ago. Furthermore, we reckon it's going to be an even bigger milestone than the Foxes' triumph, and let us tell you why. Unlike in the Premier League, where there's been instability over the years as to who wins the league, the Bundesliga has been dominated by Bayern, having won 11 titles in a row before this season. The last time the Bavarians failed to lift the league title was back in 2012, when Dortmund still had Klopp. This monotony makes it almost impossible for new teams to break through, as Bayern tends to dip into the market and buy all the good players in the league, strengthening themselves. Even in seasons where Bayern have faced multiple issues, they've still been able to pull out a league win, which makes Leverkusen's meteoric rise so shocking. Therefore, if Leverkusen were to upset the established order and claim the Bundesliga title, it would mark a seismic shift in German football. The sheer magnitude of such an achievement cannot be overstated, considering the near certainty that Bayern would emerge victorious season after season. When Leverkusen hired Xabi Alonso, they expected an inexperienced manager who would take time to adjust but eventually come good in the long run. What they didn't expect was a manager who, in his first full season in charge of a senior side, would be 5 points clear at the top of the table and smash holders Bayern Munich. Compare his experience to that of Ranieri at Leicester, and it's night and day. The Italian had navigated the complexities of top-flight football with stints at clubs such as Napoli, Valencia, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Juventus, Inter Milan, Roma and Monaco, making him a seasoned veteran in the world of football management. This gave him an added advantage when Leicester entrusted him with the raw gems in the team that ultimately won the Premier League. Xavi did not have any prior experience to fall back on, but despite this, he is now one of the most sought-after managers in world football, with Liverpool seemingly his next destination. If he were able to topple the 11-year reign of Bayern, it would stand by itself as one of the greatest feats of management ever. The next reason is one that is pretty obvious: Leverkusen's budget. They approached the last summer window with a tighter budget to strengthen their squad while being keen to not go against FFP. Despite spending 81.8 million on incoming transfers, they balanced their books by selling key players such as Moussa Diaby and Mitchell Baker for 69.2 million euros. This savvy approach resulted in a net spend of just 11.8 million euros, showcasing Leverkusen's ability to make impactful signings while maintaining fiscal discipline. In contrast, Leicester City's expenditure during the 2015-16 window reflected a different era in football economics, marked by inflated transfer fees. Despite spending 49.9 million euros on incoming transfers, their net spend was significantly higher at 40.4 million euros since they struggled to sell. This makes what Leverkusen are doing even more impressive given their financial struggles. A nickname Leverkusen have acquired over the years is Neverkusen. This tag comes from their inability to ever finish the job, having come second place in the league on 5 occasions, even losing out on the title on goal difference on the last day in the 99-2000 season. 2 years later, they famously lost the treble in the space of a month, and in 2009, a team that included an emerging Toni Kroos went 24 games unbeaten, only to collapse and lose 5 of their last 10 games to finish 4th. Changing the DNA of a club and banishing its demons are hard things to do, as history always has a way of repeating itself. If Leverkusen are able to rewrite history and prove themselves as winners, it will go a long way for future generations. One thing Leicester didn't have to deal with in their title-winning season was losing players because of international tournaments. tournaments. But that's exactly what Leverkusen have had to navigate. They have been without top scorer Boniface, who missed out on representing Nigeria at the Africa Cup of Nations due to injury. They also had more players called up to the tournament than any other Bundesliga team, with Edmund Tapsoba, Odion Kosunu and Amin Adli all competing in Ivory Coast. Despite these key losses, they've been able to win every game they've played during this period, except a goalless draw against Mönchengladbach at the end of January. This includes their recent win against Munich, just another reason that their league win may be even better than Leicester's. Finally, the story Leverkusen and Leicester have in common happens to be their brushes with relegation. Leicester's rise from a championship side to Premier League champions has been well documented and goes to show that truly anything is possible in sports. Leverkusen as well were in despair, hovering at the bottom of the Bundesliga with uncertainty clouding their future just over a year ago, before the appointment of Alonso. After just 8 games last season, they were already struggling in the relegation zone, but with the timely appointment of Alonso, were able to finish 6th, from the brink of despair to a team reborn. Leverkusen's story echoes the spirit of triumph that made Leicester's title win so legendary. If Leverkusen do end up winning the Bundesliga, which title win between that and Leicester do you think was harder? Let us know in the comments. Remember to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to turn on bell notifications so that you never miss out on any new content. See you next time. Bye.